Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 331 of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Gosh, I can't believe there's been over 300 episodes. Anyway, today's episode is actually a little thought that I had back in July of last year that I had recorded, and I hesitated to release it, and I didn't release it then. And as I play it, I'm not going to edit it out. But I was calling the episodes in-betweeners, which I'd now call the Daily Detail Tips. So if you're confused by that, it's just randomly what I had called it then and now what I call the Daily Detail Tips. Anyway, it's this thought that I had and kind of just as I was reflecting on why was I the one to start a podcast, and really what I want it to serve as is encouragement to you. So as you listen to this episode, may you be encouraged by it. And I think the reason why I was reluctant to release it and why I haven't released it up until now is just because every time you feel vulnerable or record something vulnerable or put yourself out there, it can be really terrifying and really nerve-wracking. But what I've come to the conclusion of, or maybe not even a conclusion, but I've come to the realization that I've become so I've become so confident in my detailing ability that I sometimes forget what it's like to be in that super vulnerable state when you're early in your detailing career, early in your detailing business. But I still have those early in my career, quote unquote, stages with different things. And podcasting is definitely one of those, and putting content out on the internet is definitely one of those. Though I'm very comfortable in my detailing capabilities and abilities, sometimes I'm very nervous and with my online stuff and kind of putting stuff out to the world. So in kind of trying to combat that, I felt it was important to release this episode, especially kind of the reoccurring theme that's been going on is documenting your guys' journeys and other detailer journeys. And so I wanted to kind of jump in on that and kind of, reflect on my journey. And I think there's some cool episodes that can come out of this. As I talked to Khan again, talked to him a couple weeks back, and just telling him about the history of Jimbo Daily and kind of the logo and the inspiration behind that and who I had to even do it and all that stuff. Anyway, so I thought this episode, I'm kind of ranting, but I wanted to set this episode up a little bit so it doesn't just come off as totally random. So, just wanted to set this episode up, episode 331. Hope you guys enjoy it. Of course, JimboDaily.com is there for you, all the products I use. And actually, as I had mentioned before, it's going to be an ever-growing catalog of products, and it's really going to focus a little bit more on accessories. And so that's actually this coming Wednesday, I have another photo shoot that I'm actually doing because I just cannot stand stock photography. And so I actually go to a studio, hire a professional photographer, and get my own photos done of all the products. So this Wednesday, I'm setting up another photo shoot. I have about 17 products that I'm going to be adding, right around 17 to 15, I'll call it 15 to 20 products, towels, brushes, a really cool wash mitt that I've been playing with and toying with. Anyway, just a bunch of stuff, a couple shirts. Anyway, couple things that I am excited to add to the site. So always be looking for that. JimboDaily.com, of course, AutoDetailingPodcast.com. And my YouTube channel. I'm trying to pump out more videos, and especially for everything on JimboDaily.com, I'm trying to do a video describing why I use that, why I picked it, because I really don't want JimboDaily.com to just be a collection of crap that I can make money on. I really, really don't want that at all. I want everything to be hand-picked, hand-selected, and it's on that site because I actually use it. A lot of these other kind of detailing supply sites, rightfully so, have just a mass amount of stuff on their site, and it's becoming really hard to navigate through that. So part of my vision and plan and idea for JimboDaily.com is for it to be really a curated site of products that when you're looking for a specific product or accessory that you want to add to your arsenal, that if you go to JimboDaily.com and the products on there are going to be tested by me, used by me, and it's not going to be kind of this vast website of just stuff that you're not really too sure about. It's actually going to be tested, tried, and true. So I appreciate you guys for even taking the time to go over there and look at it. I think this whole podcast thing is crazy and insane, and I love it. And I love the journey and all the feedback. So without further ado, sorry for the long rant. Trust me, I read all your comments, or not all your comments, but some of your comments on when these go over to YouTube about how people waste their time listening to my rant. So if you stuck through it, I appreciate your ears listening to my rant. Let's get into episode 331 of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Me being a little vulnerable. So be gentle on me. I'm being a little vulnerable in this episode, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for listening. Here we go. What's going on, guys? It's Jimbo with another In-Betweener, and this is a thought that I had today that's kind of been going through my head lately, and I really just want to bring it up, not from a place of like heavy ego, but more of a place of encouraging you guys. And I've been getting a ton of feedback on my episode that the last week's In-Betweener with when the client said their detailed car looked worse than after I detailed it than before it was even detailed. Anyway, so this piece of content, or this thought rather, is just something that it's just been striking me as so crazy lately. And I really want to share it with you because I want to encourage you that anything is possible, and it is possible to be successful in your detailing business, and it is possible to be that high-end detailer if that's what you aspire to be. It is possible to be that full-time detailer if that's what you aspire to be. And even anything outside of detailing, it is possible for you to be doing. And even if there's big giants in the space. So the thought that's been rolling around in my head is, why was I, Jimbo, the one to create the Auto Detailing Podcast? I mean, guys, back when I started, and I've been trying to think of how long it's been. I don't remember if it's been 2 years or 3 years, because honestly, I just put my head down and I'm going to do it forever. So I don't know if it's been 2 years or 3 years. I can't remember. I think it's been 2 years, but say it's been 3. So we're in 2017, 2014, which sounds a little bit more right. So maybe it has been 3 years. I think it has been 3 years, actually. So 2014, up until 2014, no one had taken the domain Auto Detailing Podcast. Now, I know that's a really niche down thing, but come on, guys. Think about this. From 2008 to 2014, I am a mobile detailer, single-man operation in Orange County, California. Mind you, doing well, but no one knows about me. I don't interact in any forums. I don't interact on any Facebook pages. No one at any company, any other detailer knows even who I am outside of maybe my 5-mile radius, right? So I get this idea from Pete because I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to start an online venture. And so I was talking with Pete one day, who I'm doing the detailersinnercircle.com with, talking with Pete, and he goes, dude, you should start a podcast. And I said, dude, but what am I going to talk about? I got nothing to talk about. He goes, dummy, you've been detailing cars at this time for 6 years, and how many cars do you think you've done in that time frame? And I said, dude, I've done thousands. Literally done thousands upon thousands, probably 10, 20,000 cars. He's like, dude, you have a lot of content to talk about. Why don't you just talk about what you do? Like, just document, which is what I was doing in last week's In-Betweener episode. Why don't you just document what you're doing? And so I took a risk and looked up. I was like, dude, there's no way that someone's not currently doing a detailing podcast. There's just no stinking way. And come to find out, after doing some searching, and really
what it started out as is I was searching for detailing podcasts to make me a better detailer. That's really what it started out as. Is I was listening to so much content, mainly business related content, and then I started to see these guys start to make money off these podcasts, and I thought, man, maybe I can do a podcast, and I don't know, what to do it on, and blah, blah, blah. So talking to Pete, he's like, dude, you could do one on detailing. And I'm like, yeah, but what am I going to say? And he goes, just talk about what you do. And so that's what I started to do. But here's the crazy thought, and here's what I want to encourage you about. Guys, I was, and still am, trust me, I don't actually think that I'm a big shot at all. But a lot more people know about me now than they did 3 years ago. But here's the thing. Why didn't some of the big companies start a detailing podcast? Why didn't, the big car detailing brands that have been around for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, why didn't they start a podcast? They could have owned the market. Anyone could have owned the market, and yet big companies get too slow. And this for you as a detailer could be your local detailer, maybe old. Maybe he's slow. Maybe he's not as agile as he once was. Maybe he's not as innovative as he once was. Maybe he doesn't even know what a particular medium to get his product across is. So when I initially was searching and found, no one was even putting out a podcast in iTunes, and the couple that were there were severely lacking and outdated or not consistent, which was the case with one of them, not consistent at all. That was my white space to play in. That's where I took advantage and said, look, because I'm up with technology, because I'm nimble, because I'm flexible, because I'm the only one that has to make the decision, I can take advantage of this white space. And that's you as a detailer can take advantage of other companies' white space. Maybe they don't do high-end detailing in your area, and maybe there is a niche for that. Maybe someone doesn't do express details, and there's a niche for that. But I want to encourage you, because other companies get slow, they get old, they don't get agile anymore, and they become lazy. Or maybe someone's making too much money. So they hit their, they wanted to make $100,000, and they hit the $100,000, and now they're content with making $100,000, and they don't want to take on any new opportunity. That's your white space. So look for the white space, because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just in awe that of all the companies, all the detailers, all of that some people which had even started a podcast but never put it on iTunes or never put it to where the masses could catch it, to where they could be seen. A lot of people, come to find out, did a podcast-like show in the early days of podcasting, 2005, 2006, but didn't stick with it or just put it on their own website. No one's going to find it on your own website. So I just want to encourage you, through me kind of being in awe that, starting to see some success from honestly just putting in the work. I mean, there's no other doubt about it. I don't think I'm the best podcaster. I don't think any of that. I think I'm just willing to outwork people because I truly don't feel like I have any special skill set other than I'm willing to work to the bone and put in 85 hours a day, which you can too. That's the good news. So I just want to encourage you to find the white space. And what I mean by the white space is find that gap in the market. Find that hole. Find that's where you can be. That's where you can make your money. That's where you can really set up your lifestyle. That's where the magic happens, is in that gap, in the white space, whatever you want to call it, in the hole. Find that and then take advantage of it, like I have with the podcast. So no one was doing a podcast, and if you look back to when I first started, whether that was 2014 or 2015, I know we're coming up on we're coming up on the year mark, whether that's 2 years or 3 years, because I started late July, first week of August of whatever year that was. I'm pretty sure it's 2014. Could be totally wrong on that. Anyway, so as as you find that white space, take full advantage of it and hit it hard. When I found the white space of no one doing a consistent detailing podcast, I did a podcast 5 days a week for 6 to 8 months straight. 5 days a week. That was a ton of work. And mind you, I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know how to do a podcast. I didn't know how do you get a podcast in iTunes. I didn't know any of that. So I taught myself all that, and then I just hammered it because I wanted to get way out in front of anyone, because I knew I was onto something good, and I knew, like there has been, other podcasts would pop up because it's a great idea. I don't think I originated the idea. In fact, it wasn't even my idea. Thanks, Pete. But the point is, talk with people, find the white space, talk with people. If I wouldn't have had that conversation with Pete that day, this podcast wouldn't be led by me. And maybe a auto detailing podcast wouldn't even exist. But I hope that's encouraging to you guys, that maybe you feel like you're smaller, you're inadequate, you don't have what it takes, blah, 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 blah. I just want to encourage you that you can, and you do. And because you're smaller, because you're not the top dog, because you're not this huge influencer, or because you don't have 4 gazillion followers yet or whatever, doesn't mean that you can't become that person. Because though I'm still in the middle of my journey, I'm starting to see the point where making some pretty big leaps now, being 2 or 3 years into it. So I want to encourage you, though you will have to put in the work, and there were plenty of times when I wanted to quit. And in fact, there was a season of where I quit podcasting for a few months because it just becomes a grind. But push through it, keep going, you can get there, and we're going to get there together. And part of that white space I'm talking about, part of that unfair advantage, part of that way to get you where you want to go faster is being accomplished in the detailer's inner circle. And I want to encourage you, we have, guys, one core component of it is this chat group that we have going on that is on fire. It's detailers that are committed to the detailer inner circle. They're in it, and we have a live chat that goes on all day long. You have direct access to me, direct access to Pete, and you have direct access to all these other guys that have already taken the leap into the detailer's inner circle. On top of that, you're getting a free website. You're getting free marketing material. You're getting all this ongoing marketing training, and this live chat, guys, or this live chat group that goes on just all day long, and you can listen to it and join in at any time you want through an app called Voxer. It's basically a walkie-talkie app. It's insane. The guys, in fact, I might play one of the testimonials from one of the guys already getting huge value out of it on one of these future episodes. So if you'd be interested in having direct access to me every single day to ask any question you want, and not only that, because I think the value is not only in that, but what other guys from around the world are doing. And we have guys from around the world, here to Australia, New Zealand, all over the place. So if you want, business owners that are in it, doing it, and the tactics, there's a Facebook tactic. The day that I'm recording this, going on in the Facebook group, where guys are getting hundreds and hundreds of leads to their business by doing some Facebook stuff. It's all in that Voxer group, and that's just one component of the Detailer's Inner Circle. So check out detailerinnercircle.com to see how you can get plugged into that. And if you're on the fence about it, I hope you'll join. And of course, if you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook or email, and I'll be sure to answer those. But you can do it. Find the white space, find the gap, find the hole.